Hi, this video is going to go over what negative exponents represent. So I start off the introduction to negative exponents by showing a table to kind of draw out some patterns that we can see. So for instance, if we take 2 to the power of 4, we can see the real number of that is 16. And we could write it as a fraction as well, it's 16 over 1. 2 to the power of 3 would be 8, so 8 over 1. 2 to the power of 2 we know is 4. Oops. It could be 4 over 1. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. 2 over 1. 2 to the power of 0, that's 1. Now perhaps we'd get stuck. 2 to the negative power of negative 1. Not too sure what that is. But I could look at the pattern. Like say this is like dividing by 2. That's a divide by 2. From 4 to 2 we have to divide by 2. 2 to 1 we divide by 2. So I'd say that's the pattern. So then if I divide that by 2, I'd expect to get 0.5, which is 1/2. And then if I divide that by 2, I would expect to see 0.25, which is 1/4. So the idea now is, what other patterns do I see in here? So the prompt here is for you to try to rewrite 1/2 to the power 2 without using a fraction and using a negative exponent. So that's the challenge. So I think the pattern we see here is if the exponent is positive, and we start with a whole number like such as 2, then when if we write that as a fraction, we have the whole number in the numerator. This example though, the whole number, the exponent is negative, and it looks like the whole number, the 2 to the power 2, gets flipped into the denominator. It's like it gets flipped around. So it's kind of this idea, well, maybe a negative exponent flips around the base. So I'd say that maybe 1/2, if I was to take a guess, I would say 1/2 to the negative power to the negative 2 equals 1/2 to 2. That's sort of the guess. And I could come up with rules that says if I change the exponent from a negative to a positive, the base flips. So another example, 2 to the negative 1, I flip over the base, so 2 becomes a 1/2. This one, 2 to the power 2 is 4, but since it's negative, it's flipped, it's 1/4. And if, in fact, you can copy down a rule from your textbook. It basically says the same thing. X to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over x to the n. Or even more general, I'd say, is x to the power of negative n equals, something like that. I guess it's sort of the same thing. So to evaluate this, I would flip the base, so 8 over 3, and the exponent is positive, so that's equal to 64 over 9. Now I've been using the words flip the base. What it really is we're taking the reciprocal of the base. This is actually a reciprocal. And that's it. That's all it is working with negative exponents. I have some practice questions there for you to try. But really the idea is, like, if you had 2/3 to the power of negative 3, that's equal to 3/2 to the power of 3. If you had 58 over 7 to the power of negative 4/3, that's the same as 7 over 58 to the power of positive 4/3. Okay, try out those practice problems and good luck.